Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell button so YouTube can notify you every time I upload a new video. As I promised, I was going to make a larger ladder from my other DIYs when I made the small miniature ladder. I was going to make it with the same items, which are the brushes for the grill cleaning brushes, but as you could tell, they were curved and I couldn't fix them to where it would look right without it being odd because of both of them curving. So since I promised I would make another larger ladder, I ended up going around and shopping and looking to see what I could find to make it. I didn't want to make it with the rolling pins because the rolling pins are uneven as well. They're kind of small and taper in the bottom and the top, and then get a little bit thicker in the middle. But I mean, it looks fine, but from what I wanted, I didn't want that either. So I saw these plungers, and the handles of the plungers are wood. So that's what I used. I'm using 2 of them to make the actual size of the ladder, the length of it, which each one is, I believe, 18 inches. So what you're going to do is glue. I put wood glue and hot glue to join them. And I'm using 2 of the sticks and cutting them in half to make the steps of the ladder. And I actually got one of these saws from Dollar Tree. I was really curious to see if they worked or not. I had asked in a previous video if anyone had used it. And I liked the way it worked. Now, I'm doing this on the floor, so I just kept rotating my stick and sawing it down a little bit and then rotating it and sawing it down. And it didn't take very much strength, but I'm sure if you do it the right way, it would work even better. But again, it was easy to saw it down, so I'm kind of happy I got that saw now. Once you've cut them down halfway, you can sand them. This is completely optional, you don't have to, but I sanded the edges. They rolled underneath my chest. And I'm making 4 steps. So in total, I'm using 6 of the plungers. Now, someone had asked me if I could make one large enough to hang towels. If you wanted to hang towels on, you could, and you just don't cut the plunger sticks in half. Instead, use 3. You would use 7 plungers, 2 on either side for the length, and then 3 in the middle, and make 3 steps instead of 4 steps. But you would use the full length of the plunger if you wanted to use it like for a restroom for towels. But since I'm going to use this in my kitchen for doilies, I figured I could use it and cut 1 in half. So the way I'm making it again is 6 plungers. If you want to hang towels, you can use 7 plungers, and it would just be 3 steps instead of 4 steps. Now with this little box that comes with frame hanging supplies and nails, I'm going to use the biggest nail that comes in this box. Again, I'm using wood glue and hot glue for each one of these steps. Now, since we're going to hammer them down, you really don't have to use wood glue or hot glue, but I chose to do that. And I separated each step 7 inches apart. So the bottom is a little bit more than 7 inches, but from the top going down, each step is 7 inches apart. And then you just hammer your nail into the step. Now I chose not to do that because it kept moving the steps. So what I did was, again, I used wood glue and hot glue and glued them, and then I let them dry for a few hours, and I ended up using screws because it was just easier for me to screw them than to hammer it. But if you want to use just all Dollar Tree products, you can just hammer it down with nails and it would be just fine, because the bottom one was just fine. But again, just for my purposes, and it was just easier for me to screw them down with screws. But I would recommend you to put wood glue or hot glue and let it dry for a few hours and then do that. That way your sticks won't move, your steps won't move. Because if not, you're just going to be constantly having to measure it and fix it. So once I let it dry, I even put little hooks in the middle where they were attached, just so it won't bend, because I'm thinking also for Christmas to put ornaments on it. And I didn't, some of my ornaments are kind of heavy, so I didn't want it to bend in half or anything like that. So I just put those on them. And I'm using the Waverly Ivory chalk paint to paint my ladder. You don't have to, because it's all the same color wood, but if you want that natural wood color, or you can stain it also, but I chose to use the Waverly Ivory chalk paint. Now, I did 2 coats on this ladder, and in between each coat I let it sit and dry a good 10 minutes before I put the second coat on. And then I waited another 10 minutes and flipped it and did the same thing. I hope you guys like this DIY, this ladder that I promised I would make a larger one. I loved it. And here you go. What do you guys think? Thank you for joining me. Till next time. Bye.